Compliments of the season, family. Christmas is here again. Welcome to my YouTube video channel, guys. My name is Ginika, and I'm so excited doing this. And as always, I bring in interesting topics, yes, to the table. So today, what do you think I'll be talking about? Okay, I'll be talking about effective communication as a tool of discipline. Effective communication as a tool of discipline. So, discipline is something we all know. Discipline is what we have passed through, right? We have passed through discipline to become better person for ourselves, better persons for our families, and of course, better persons for our society. And discipline at the time that we go through it, or at the time that we go through it, seems bitter, but the end thereof is sweet. And when you mention discipline, something comes to the mind: beating. But discipline is not just about beating. And it's so easy to say that because even the word of God says, spare the rod and spoil the child. So people would, naturally, this society where we live would naturally go for the flogging, the egba. All right, so quickly, what is discipline to start with? Let's give a definition of what discipline is. Now, discipline is correction that trains the heart and the mind, and it involves punishment. Yeah, it can include punishment at one point or the other, and it also involves communication. So when we talk about discipline, like I said earlier, flogging comes in, scolding, shouting, and the rest of that. But discipline is not really about that. We need to learn how to correct children in love. We need to learn how to balance it. So it's not all cases that involves you flogging your child. Now, we must note that discipline and child abuse are two different things. They are two parallel lines that do not meet. Discipline and child abuse are two parallel lines that do not meet. So they are very different from each other. Most people abuse children, be it physical abuse, emotional abuse, all kinds of abuse. They abuse children and call it discipline. You can imagine, for instance, a situation whereby you have to get a child naked, to flog that child. You pour something, maybe something very terrible on the child's body. You do one crazy thing or the other, all in the name of discipline. So discipline is not child abuse. Now let me give you an instance. I was watching some time ago, I watched a documentary on TV about a disabled man. Yes, so his two hands like this were off. Although thank God he's grown now, he's married with kids. But he said while he was living with his auntie and his uncle, they came back from work. Let's say they came back from work that day and then asked him why he did not wash the plate, why he did not wash the dishes. And what his auntie did was to tie his hands, let's say sellotape his mouth and then put him, I don't know where I can't just fathom where he said she put him. I think the roof of the house. And when you tie a part of the body, this is an experiment that you can practicalize at home. Get a rubber band, for instance, put it so tight, let's say on this finger. You see that blood stops flowing. Blood doesn't flow evenly to the finger. So that was exactly what happened. His two hands being tied, no blood. To cut the story short, he went to the hospital. His hands were withered already, and they had to amputate his hand. So can you see? That's how bad it is. And he sweeps the bridge of Lagos, bridges in Lagos State, and overhead bridge, and he was calling on the government to come and help. So can you see how what his auntie did to him? And he said she ran away. She and her husband ran away, and they ran away because they were looking for them, the police, but they ran away. But see how they destroyed the life of that man, all in the name of discipline. It could be, yes, she would have had discipline in mind because he did not wash plates. Is that fair? Is that good? So we should be very, very conscious. Guardians living with if you have words with you, please know how you discipline them. Discipline should be based on love, um, not just punishment. Don't Yes, there are cases where you have to be harsh, and then when you understand who your child is and the offense they commit, yeah, there are instances where you can be harsh, but don't be harsh to the extent that you irritate them. You irritate them and then bring down their low self-esteem. So you see, we need to include communication in disciplining kids these days, in disciplining teenagers these days, because I tell you, we live in a world where the world of today, we have technology around us, and you have the internet around us, peer pressure. There is so much going on. They can learn things from the TV, internet, and most times it's understandable. Parents are usually not around, as both mothers and fathers, go out to search for daily bread. But then we should create time for kids. And I tell you, um kids love communication. They love it when parents have time for them. So we need to create time. Parents need to create time both for the child and the teenagers. There are so many things to talk about. Now, for instance, little children, you can talk about how school went, how what they were taught in school that day, you know, we sit down together, read with them, teach them one or two things, like I like a video that I've done before, values. So this is where you can sit down, and talk, begin to share things with them, and for our teenage and young adults, sex is something that is everywhere now. Sex is not something that people are shy of. Sex is something that is said openly, and there is pornography everywhere. So I believe that our young parents or would be parents would take the advantage, to make things right. Older couples or older parents don't really know what communication is as discipline. They do more of the flogging aspect, or whenever they talk, they don't really calm down, and talk. Hey, okay, what about this? What do you think about this? What do you think about this? It's always about like I said, the scolding type. So it's the duty of the parent to administer discipline to the child. So discipline is not an option. Discipline is not an option where a child is. You don't tell a child, should I discipline you? No, you have to. But then we need to make a balance. We need to balance it. Don't be harsh. Even the word of God says, don't be harsh to them. Don't be irritating to them. But yet, we still need to be firm. Be firm while disciplining your child. Discipline them in a way that even them know. When you discipline your children, they know the value of it. They might not know the value of it. At that point, they shouldn't even see it as being a bad thing. That is why we need to watch how we discipline them. So when they grow older, they know the value of being disciplined. So when they grow older, they know that, oh yes, discipline has taught me to to do things right. Discipline has taught me to be, you know, you know, to do it the way it's supposed to be done. So these are the things that discipline should, should imbibe in the child. Now, so depending on the age of the child and the gravity of the offense that the child has committed will determine the kind of discipline to be applied, or will determine the kind of punishment to be applied, which means the punishment that you give a teenager is not the same punishment that you give a child. Yes, so you see, for our teenage years, I believe it's not the time to start flogging them. It's the time to sit and talk, because at that point in time, we should understand that teenage years, it's the time when they want to feel like they're adults. It's the time when they want to feel, yes, I can do it all, but which is wrong. So at that point in time, flogging them is not the solution. Flogging them will not be um, what will solve that problem, or what will correct them. What will correct them is you sitting them down and say, oh, okay, it's not like this. And also, parents should make their children know why they are being disciplined. Yes, daughter, yes, son, you're being disciplined because you did this, and this is very, very wrong. So that is why I disciplined you for it. Oh, you're supposed to wash the dishes. Oh, sorry, son, there is no ice cream today, but you will get an ice cream tomorrow. You can't have an ice cream today because you don't always have it all the time. Life is not like that. You cannot always um have it whenever you want. So these are some of the things we need to explain to them. Oh, this is the reason why it has to be done like this. This is the reason why it has to be done like this. So we need to get this right. We need to get our discipline method right, and most importantly, communication. Please do not just bear the thought of punishing them, of just flogging them, but it should be about um, actually correcting. That correction should be what comes to the mind. All right, so for every video that I drop, whatever I bring to the table is just a tip of the iceberg. So there are so many things that can be talked about on every topic that I bring, but I just, like an introduction or a summary. So it's not limited to what I say here. Okay, so I hope you got that, and I pray that we get it right. When it comes to discipline. So discipline should not leave a child feeling dejected. Discipline should not bring down a child's wrong. Discipline is not good. So the way you discipline should not bring down your child's self-esteem, like I have said earlier on. So thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, comment, and of course press the notification bell so that I get alerted whenever I drop a new video. And enjoy your Christmas. Yes, enjoy your Christmas with family and friends. Stay safe, be blessed. Remember, family is key, family is love, family is everything. Until I come your way again, I love you all. Bye.